Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Today's video, we're just going to be continuing on with our review and discussion of Willow's custom cards. If you haven't seen the previous video, gonna link it again in the top right hand corner. Let's get straight into it. So the next card we have here, guys, is KHONSHU. He's a 6 energy 2 power card, and he reads ongoing. Other than this, your most expensive cards have +3 power. So you may be thinking, yeah, like you could pop him in a lockjaw deck for sure. If you just have big like 6 cost cards anyways, you want to give them an even higher power boost. This seems really good. But the interesting fact about this card is that it says other than this. So you could build like I don't know. Again, this is actually really interesting. You could put this in a Cerebro deck. This is kind of like a Cerebro finisher as well, now that I think about it. But then any sort of deck, if you plan to play like a lot of 2-drops or a lot of 3-drops, like if you want to play powerful 3-drops and then this is like your finisher, you just play KHONSHU and they all get a boost of +3 power. This is this is like the inverse. This is like the inverse Cerebro, but it's a really interesting card. I think you could get some crazy decks you can make some crazy decks using this card's effect for sure. So the next card we have here, guys, is Power Man. He is a 2 energy 3 power card, and his ability is ongoing, +1 power for each 1 cost card at this location. Straight off the bat, I think you just send this card into a Spectrum ongoing deck. Combine this with like your Ant-Man. If you get really good draw at the start, you can have like Ant-Man, Ebony Maw, like another 1-drop, another powerful 1-drop in that lane. But if you have all of the 1-drops with this is a 2/6, which is really good stats. If you can get that type of Ebony Maw lane, like that's a lot of power. I'm not saying it's a guaranteed location win, but you know what, actually, and then you put the Spectrum on top of that, that's even more added power. So I think if I'm just first impressions looking at this, yeah, I think this is definitely a spectrum type of card for sure. So the next card we have here is Two Gun Kid. He's a 3 energy 2 power card, and he reads on reveal, summon a cult Sa, I think SAA in adjacent locations. And that token card is a 1 energy 1 power card, and it reads when your opponent plays a card here, give it -1 power. So super interesting. Again, kind of a combination of some previous cards we've seen from Willow, like Agent Venom, and the other dude that summons the two things at adjacent locations. Super interesting. I mean, that's a powerful effect, you know what I mean? Like every card they play is -1 power, so technically it's -4 power from the total location if they fill it up. And it seems like stat wise, it seems pretty cool. I like seeing these types of cards that generate cards, right? You know what I mean? I mean, you've got the big ones like the White Tigers and the Dr. Dooms and stuff, but I think this is really cool. Not much to say besides this. I guess maybe if you played like Wong with this, or Absorbing Mang, like again, that's one of the new cards kind of coming out. Having 2 of these on either side of the location actually could be all right, because then you could kind of focus on like even like the middle location, or you wouldn't have to put too much power on the other ones because their cards are getting minus power each time they play there. Like super interesting concept, super interesting design. So would actually love to see a card like this in Snap for sure. So the next card we have here is Hope Summers. She's a 3 energy 4 power card. I like the flavor again, similar to Cyclops, you know, 3/4 stats. She reads, this ability is random. And underneath it says, rule clarification. Hope will have another card's ability randomly assigned to her once she is added to the player's hand. I would like to think maybe if they... See, they can't ever print a card like this. I don't know. I feel like people would just like give out this card is like, you know, it's one of those wacky cards, one of those fun cards. I just don't think they could ever print a card like this. Imagine like getting Hope and she has like, I don't know, like Galactus's effect, or well, maybe it being so random is fair. I mean, in other card games we've seen cards like this where it is random, and like maybe this is just a fun card, you know what I mean? There's not much more to say about this except like, you know, maybe if you want to have fun, throw this card in your deck. But it could be beneficial. Like, it's either really good or really bad. So it'd be interesting to see if this card ever got printed, how it would be perceived. Again, you'd have to look at all of the effects in the game. To be honest, most cards with effects, the effects are good. So maybe this would be actually a pretty good card. I don't know. Yeah, interesting for sure though. So the next card we have here is Scream. She is a 3 energy 0 power card. He misspelled it, but it's all good. keeping with the flavor of the symbiotes. I love it. She has some sort of destroy effect again. When a card is destroyed, set this card's power equal to the power of it. So super, super cool. You can destroy something. Ideally for 3, you'd want to destroy something pretty big. And then Scream gets the stats of that. So you wouldn't be you'd be like, oh damn, I just had to destroy a big card to proc my destroy effects or whatever. This would be really beneficial. I can see a symbiote deck forming. That would be so cool. Imagine a deck just full of symbiotes. How awesome would that be? And null, like, oh man. This is similar to one of the cards we saw previously where he I believe it was actually nearly a similar effect, but it's on another location or something like that. I might be confusing that, but yeah, super, super cool card. Love the symbiote flavor with the destroy. Would love to see this card in the game. The next card we have here is Captain Britain. He is a 4 energy 0 power card, and he reads ongoing. Your cards that cost 4 energy or more have +3 power. So you would want to rock this dude again in some sort of big deck, cheating out stuff, and just giving them +3 power. That is powerful, man. That is super powerful. We're seeing, I feel like Willow's a fan of Cerebro. We're seeing a lot of these types of effects, which I think are super cool. The more ongoing effects like this would again really promote certain deck types. Like Cerebro promotes a certain deck type. This would be like, you know, further enforcing the big types of cards. Yeah, overall seems solid. I actually know as well, he's a big enjoyer of Mr. Negative, so I know why he's making all of these like 0 power cards. So like he plays Mr. Negative flipped. To be fair, like a lot of these cards, you gotta consider them with Mr. Negative as well. Like if you play them Mr. Negative, you flip these, like it's kind of crazy, man. The next card we have here is NORTHSTAR. He's a 2 energy 3 power card, and he reads ongoing. If your opponent's deck is empty, +4 power. So kind of similar. I believe there was a card before called Aurora, which is if they had if their hand was empty, she gets +4 power. Again, similar to Strong Guy as well. If their deck is empty, right? Okay, you obviously want to run Maximus with this card to just like make them draw cards. This would be really good in a stage of Snap where drawing was really common. You know what I mean? If there was enough draw cards in the game that they want to do, or like again a combo deck where they just kind of go through their cards pretty fast. But then also you can use like Yondu. Yondu will burn a card, you know what I mean? So there's ways to activate them. Interesting card, again, I think could be really interesting for like the future of Snap. This could be like really interesting in a year's time when we have a lot more kind of draw in the game for sure. So the next card we have here is Brother Blood. He's a 2 energy 0 power card, and he reads on reveal, siphon 2 power from an enemy card at this location. This is a super, super fun card, man. Super cool design. Yeah, like stealing power from your opponent's cards. You can technically look at this as a 2/2, I guess, but taking power from a certain, you know, there's some nutty things you could do with this. Again, Wong's a card in the game, right? So you can like do some Wong Mystique shenanigans. I don't know if you'd ever want to go that far, but you could just play this as a simple card. I mean, you wouldn't really want to just play him as the, you know, just steal 2 from your opponents. I mean, it's an interesting effect, but you do want to try and boost the effect, make it more powerful. But in general, the design, and I love kind of like siphon abilities, like stealing stuff from your opponent. So that's I think it's a super, super cool ability for sure. All right, the next card we have here is HELLION, and he's a 5 energy 5 power card. He reads on reveal, your opponent gains control of all rocks. Ongoing rocks have -1 power. Man, this is like Debris' dream. Like you put this, this card is actually so powerful, man. I think this card is like, if people look at this and be like, oh yeah, it's probably a fine card, like this card, like if your opponent is playing anything other than destroy, this card is just insane. Like you play Debris, you play HELLION, you can put your other like rocks, make them you know, like your rock slides, your Korg and stuff like that. They're never going to want to play rocks, but if you have a card like this in the game, this is a super powerful effect. I feel like people don't really I don't know. People might underestimate the power of rocks even just in general. They can see the power of them maybe like using them with Patriot, but even then they don't really use them with Patriot that much. They tend to use like your no ability cards. Um, I just love playing like the what I call is like the no space deck, or like the clogger deck. You just clog all this shit over on their side. Yeah, wow, this is actually a really fun card. I would love to try this. This I feel like would be just an unfun card to face. I mean, like, you know, you never want to, like, people play counter cards and stuff like that. I'd love it's these. I feel like this is one of the cards like you love playing, but when they play it, you're like, oh man. It's a super fun. One of my favorites for sure. All right, the next card we have here is Beyonder. He's a 6 energy 5 power card. He reads, on reveal, fill this location with random cards on both sides. So yeah, if you like X Mansion, I mean, you know what I mean, random cards. It's yeah, this is an interesting card. You know what? It's originally, I just looked at this straight off the bat. I was like, oh yeah, this is kind of like a meme fun card. But like, if their location is kind of full, you have a chance. It's always a risk, right? Because like, again, you'd have to do, if you want to get technical, you'd have to do math. You'd have to think, okay, how many like big cards compared to small cards are there? Is this like really worth playing? Or what are my odds of getting like really good use out of this? But it's also like it's a 6 cost and there's 5. If you've got like 2 slots, even 3 slots, on average, you probably get a good amount of stats for 6 energy. If you wanted to claim a location that they might think that they have down already, that they know like they're about to win, super interesting. Again, you'd have to get really technical and see what's the average kind of card and stuff like that. But yeah, you'd want to play this in the thing where like their location is kind of full, they think they might have won, or like you're close to winning or whatever. I could see it being played. I want to see a card. I don't know if he might have one further down here, but I want to see a card that's like you know, you play this and just fill the entire board with random cards. Like that would just be nutty for you and your opponent. Like crazy. All right, so the next card we have here is Captain AMERICAT. He's a 0 energy 4 power card, and he reads ongoing -1 power for each other card at this location. Straight off the bat, yeah, you want to put this in an up-and-coming card, Sauron. Sauron silences all of the ongoing abilities of cards in your deck and hand, I believe. I'm not too sure if it's your hand. But yeah, I love all of these like animal versions of Marvel characters. They're super funny. Yeah, I don't really see it in any other sort of deck. Like, you can throw 0, you can do 0 as well to silence his ability. If his ability isn't silenced, it's a pretty bad card, because if he comes down, your opponent will want to play a lot of cards on that location. You don't want to play too many cards in that location because he starts to get minus power. But yeah, that's definitely where he slots in, is those kind of 0 Sauron types of decks. All right, so the next card we got here is Justice. He's a 4 energy 5 power card. And he reads, you can move this once, ongoing. Other cards cannot move from here. Interesting. Again, if we see a lot of move, this is a really interesting counter card. So kind of like a bigger Nightcrawler, except with actually a better effect as well. Because if your opponent's playing move stuff, they can't move. So if they're playing like a Nightcrawler, they can't move stuff. It's move from here. If they're playing Heimdall or anything like that, they can't move from there. So yeah, really interesting. I'm loving all of these move types of cards, because that's kind of a deck archetype or a deck ability card ability I don't really think about too often, because again, in pool 3, I don't know if it's just me, I don't really see that much move. It was one of the best decks in like pool 1 or 2, but I really hope they kind of, it's not even about boosting the power level of move cards. Move cards are good, but it's kind of a complicated deck to play. You got to be aware of like shifting stuff around, but it's a powerful deck for sure. So it's a super interesting card to counter that, yeah. All right, guys, so the next card here is Stranger. He's a 2 energy 2 power card. He reads, on reveal, until the end of next turn, replace this location with Ego. So I don't know, like this is kind of another wacky card, man. He's making some crazy cards. I'm trying to think of a cool use for this card. I mean, you could maybe just play this on turn 5. Wait, this is until the end of next turn. Yeah, you play this in turn 5 and then mess up their turn 6 play maybe, but then it may also mess up your turn 6. Besides actually trying to make like good use. Yeah, he's just like a fun wacky card. Again, he works well with that card that I reviewed in the one of his first sets, which was I believe it was Bombshell, whose power doubles if the location is changed. So that's kind of cool. But yeah, overall, definitely another wacky fun meme card. But if you want to get actual use out of it, yeah, I'd say the turn 5 play is probably the better one. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. What would you do with Stranger? Any cool combos you can think of? All right, guys, so the next card we have here is Impossible Man. He's a 4 energy 5 power card, and he reads, on reveal, add 3 copies of a random friendly card here, so at this location, to the opponent's deck. So really interesting card. So I guess you want to give him crap, like, you know what I mean? So again, we just talked about rocks, right? With HELLION, you can play Impossible Man on a lane that just has a rock. You're just giving him 3 rocks. That seems pretty good. Another, like, you could give him bad cards, I don't know, like cards that just don't synergize with his deck or something like that. But in general, yeah, Impossible Man is really interesting. I think he would be... I think they could print a card like this. Like, he could see some play. Again, off the top of my head, yeah, rocks is just what I think of. I don't know if I'm missing. Again, there's probably some crazy sorts of combos you could do with Impossible Man, but off the bat, yeah, I think it's kind of rocks, or I would say Hood, but giving your opponent Hood is actually probably beneficial because he gets the demon out of it as well. There's other bad cards that you can give your opponents. Well, I just can't think of them off of the top of my head at the moment. But yeah, super fun card again. The next card we have here is Grendel. He is a 6 energy 13 power card, and he reads, you can't play this at a location you already have cards in. Ongoing cards can't be added here. So super interesting. Oh wow, okay, this is like a card like you want to cheat out, and if you cheat this out, it's like, this is my location, unless they're playing like Move or something like that. Can compare it most similar to Destroyer, because oftentimes you play Destroyer like you do like your armor in one lane, your Professor X in another lane, or whatever, and then you tend to play Destroyer on a lane by himself or with Cosmo or something like that. This is one of the cards where, like, if you cheat this out and they don't have like anything really at that location, it's like, okay, this is my location now. Super interesting, because it does say cards. It's not your cards. It says cards in general. Now there's still cards like White Tiger and your Doctor Dooms and stuff that can shove cards over there. But this is kind of like an ebony, like an Omega Ebony Maw, but also like Destroyer as well. Super fun card, man. I'd love, like, you cheat this out, you slam this down, it's like, this is my location, this is mine. It's awesome. I love it. The next card we have here is Bushwhacker. He is a 3 energy 3 power card, and he reads, when a card is destroyed, this gains its ability. So off the top of my head, I mean, straight off the bat, super cool effect. A lot of things you can do. Again, we've seen so many cards that he's designed personally that are like synergistic with specifically destroying, not even just like, because at the moment, like, you don't really want to destroy your own big cards except with Venom. That's the only thing in the game that you want to do it with Venom. But this is actually beneficial, you know, if you want to destroy a bigger card or just a card with a super good effect. This just seems really good, and it being 3 energy, like, you play it and then you can play a 4 or a 5 with really good energy, and you do some destroy craziness on turn 5 or 6. It's yeah, super interesting. Again, I really feel like with all of these cards I'm seeing, and even with some of the cards that are coming to the game, I know I keep saying it, but no, like, I think we're gonna look at Destroy. We're gonna look at Destroy now, how it is with like Death Wave and all, and we're gonna look at it in such a different perspective. It's gonna take like a huge jump from like wanting to destroy loads of small cards to proc death, to it just being like destroy powerful cards with big effects and big stats, and then that just ends up like getting some kind of craziness towards the end. So Bushwhacker has a lot of potential. Again, if you guys think of any crazy combos, I can't think of them off the top of my head at the moment, but super cool card, and I think it would definitely fit into the future of where these like destruction decks are going. So the next card we have here is Stingray, guys. He's a 3 energy 1 power card. He reads, when you play your most recently drawn card, plus 3 power. Now, when I initially looked at this card, I was kind of like, this looks bad. Why would you run this card when you can just play like a 3/4 or any better 3 cost? But what I didn't realize is it's like, it's every turn. So like if you're like a top deck king and you play this on turn 3 and you top deck a 4 or like a card you need, and then you do it again, the most this could become would be what, 4, 5, 6. So this would be a 3 energy 10 power card. That's actually like wild, but you would have to be literally the top decking master. If draw becomes pretty good, I don't know. Again, how I feel about draw is interesting because like you don't draw too many cards in Snap. Like there's not too many cards that allow you to draw cards in Snap. But yeah, really interesting. It's so funny. I when I first looked at this card, I misjudged it completely. But now I can see, even if you get this to a 3/7, you play 2 cards that you top decked. Yeah, this is like a super good card. Just playing like basically a Maximus with no downside at all. Yeah, awesome card. All right, guys, so this is the last card out of all of Willow's custom set. There are a few other ones. Again, if you want to see the rest of them, link in the description to the full post with all the cards. So the final card here we have is Moondragon. She is a 1 energy 0 power card, and she reads, on reveal, if your opponent played a card here this turn, the next card you draw costs 2 less. So very similar to like the Guardians of the Galaxy card mechanics, where you know you have to kind of guess, oh, are they going to play a card here this turn? Pretty powerful effect, kind of. Like, I mean, any reduction in a game is good. The only downside is if you draw like a 1 or 2 cost. But even if you draw 2 costs, it's free, right? You don't have to pay the energy for it. So nice little card to end on. Yeah, really cool. I wonder, I actually don't know the lore behind Moondragon. If she's somehow connected to the Guardians, that would be really cool flavor. But yeah, in general, pretty cool. Again, you could slot it into some sort of combo deck if you like want the reduction, or like you get really lucky or something. You don't have to play this on turn 1. You can wait a little bit. But yeah, awesome card to end on. So yeah, that was all of the custom cards we got through. So between this video and the last video, that's everything that Willow has shared with us. So again, I want to say very much thank you to Willow for sharing all of these cards with us. Please go follow him. Subscribe to his YouTube, follow him. He's really active on Twitter and makes insane crazy decks. Thank you very much for watching the video, guys. I know they've been long, but they're all super interesting cards. This gets me so excited for just getting more cards in Snap. So next month, December, collector tokens. I can't wait, man. Coming very soon, guys. Just you wait. Thank you for watching the video. I'll see you in the next one.